welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm reviewing Columbus Crew 4, Atlanta United FC 2, and MLS 2023 East Round 1, Game 3. Columbus Crew wins the series with the second win, but this game went off the rails. This game was nuts. This game was absolutely nuts. Because 4 goals from Columbus, 2 from Atlanta, 6 goals in all. It didn't seem Columbus had it shut down, even though they did. I don't think the scoreline completely told the story, but we'll get there. Goals are scored as follows. In the 9th minute, Darlington Nagbe had the ball at the top of the box, pops it into the net past Brad Guzan. Let's remember Nagbe used to play for Atlanta, and he also used to play for Portland. But he gets the goal in the 9th minute, scores past Guzan, his former teammate, to make it 1-0, and that was a banger. Then in the 19th minute, 10 minutes later, Malte Amundsen said, "Hold my beer," went golazo, banged it into the top bins. Guzan had nothing to do with it. There was a little bit of a knuckle to the ball as well. What a strike from Malte Amundsen. Makes it 2-0 in the 19th minute. Then in the 34th minute, Alexandru Matan gets the ball played into him. And then gets the ball played into him from Cucho and Rossi. He pops it into the net to make it 3-0 in the 34th minute. Then a minute later, Yorgos Giacomakis scores, gets in behind, gets the ball played to him. He taps it in to make it 3-1 in the 35th minute. That's the way we go into half, 3-1. But at least Atlanta got one back, at least for their sake. But even then, I don't think they were getting their ass kicked like the scoreline make it look. But again, we'll talk about that when we get there. In the 48th minute, Diego Rossi scores, takes a beautiful shot past Brad Guzan. Rossi gets his goal. Funnily enough, Cucho did not score. So luckily, I did not bet goal scores. Now, if you did bet goal scores, hopefully you bet Rossi and Cucho. Maybe Matan. You got 2 out of 3. You didn't get Cucho, though. 4-1, Diego Rossi scores. Jean De Silva scores a tap-in the 50th minute, 2 minutes later to make it 4-2. But that's just window dressing. Atlanta doesn't get a third or a fourth. They got pretty close to a third, I won't lie. But that would have been window dressing anyway. Full-time, 4-2. Full-time stats, 21 shots to 11, 8 shots on goal to 4, 47% possession to 53% possession, 443 passes to 491, 83% pass accuracy to 85, 15 fouls to 15, 5 offside to 1, 2 yellow cards to 3, 0 red cards to 0, and 3 corners to 4. Here is my thought about this game. Columbus, the scoreline did not completely tell you how this game went. I don't think Columbus kicked Atlanta's ass as bad as that scoreline looked, especially for a while. 2 golazos from Nagbe and Amundsen. Then Rossi scored a goal you think he would score, and Matan scored a goal that you think he'd score. So it really should have been 2-1, 2-2. Atlanta scored 2 goals you think they would score. But 2 golazos changed the absolute complexion of this game. And Columbus, I'm not saying they didn't kick Atlanta's ass, but it wasn't as thorough as you might think. Like, for me, Atlanta did get beat. They got beat. That is facts. Columbus came out, scored 2 golazos, and they took that momentum throughout the whole game, even though Atlanta got a couple back. Let's just say that they spotted them too, right? They spotted them too. And they got those 2 back with tap-ins, but they couldn't get the other 2 of the goals that actually should be scored. But there you go. This was crazy. Atlanta got beat in behind 4 times. The defense was crap. Guzan is washed. And that's pretty much what cost him this game. Giacomakis, he could have scored another goal. I think he should have scored another goal. And then you got that third that had Giacomakis scored, that third they were really pushing for and arguably should have got late on. That would have been a tie. We would have went to penalties. So it's not that far off. This game was not an ass-kicking. Yes, it looks like an ass-kicking. Yes, Atlanta got beat, but it wasn't an ass-kicking. Columbus did what you would expect them to do if you're giving them opportunities. And that's exactly what this game was. I think Atlanta gave Columbus way too many opportunities, whether it was from far out or close in. They gave them way too many opportunities, and a team like Columbus is going to make you pay. Like Atlanta, Columbus did to Atlanta what Atlanta did to Columbus in Game 2. That's pretty much what happened. And I wouldn't say any of those from Atlanta were golazos, but you get my point. This was the opposite game. This was the opposite. Columbus did to Atlanta what Atlanta did to them in Game 2. And you could say, okay, Ryan, that's true. Because it was 4-2 the other way for Atlanta to just get here. So it's kind of funny how it was basically the exact same situation, just the other home team does it, you know? And besides, I think Game 1 was a pretty big, I wouldn't say blowout, but it was definitely something. It was definitely something. Hold on, I do have those numbers in here. Yeah, let's go back and look. Because I was planning on doing an RSR for it, but I did not. Because I think of the timing it was. 2-0 from Cucho, so that was probably the most easy game of it all. But I think that was actually pretty dominant. That was actually the dominant game. These last two were good offensively, defensively questionable. Columbus were questionably defensively questionable in Game 2. Then Atlanta was defensively questionable here. So, bring that all together. You look at the situation, you say, okay, so Atlanta played this way in Atlanta, but they got played like this in Columbus. That's pretty much what it is. And for me, I think it was a very good performance by Columbus offensively. Defensively, wasn't the best, but, you know, it doesn't matter considering they scored 4 goals. Now, Mo Farsi, I have to say, was very meh tonight. It could have been worse for Atlanta had Mo Farsi played to the level I expect him to play. I was a little bit shocked, to be honest. That's one thing that really popped out to me, is Cucho didn't get a goal. So I'm glad I didn't bet goal scores, because if I did, I'd look like Book It with Trent. Except, well, I don't know. I wouldn't miss as much as he does, but he still misses a lot. But I would look like Trent. Had Prize Picks, had I bet the goal scores on Prize Picks, or just bet the goal scores. Good thing I didn't, because I thought Cucho was going to score. Rossi, yes. Matan, yes. Nagbe and Amundsen, no. Silva and Yakimakis, yes. I figured that too. I thought 3-2. But with that being said, good thing I didn't bet the goal scores. But Cucho didn't get a goal, but I don't think that was on him. That was just, it is what it is. And Mo Farsi didn't look good enough for me. I thought he played a good game. If it wasn't one of the big three of Matan, Rossi, Cucho, I thought Farsi would score. He didn't. And I expected better out of him. I really did. He looked meh, but it didn't matter because they won 4-2. That's probably the best time to look meh or look like crap, is when it doesn't matter. So, good for him, I guess. With that being said, Columbus did what they had to do. Atlanta just absolutely, I wouldn't say fell apart, but Atlanta definitely didn't defend good enough to put them in a good position. So, it's pretty much all it is. It was a crazy game. It was nutty. This was a crazy game. 6 goals. Hell, both teams scored good goals. Both teams, it wasn't over till, I'd say, the last 15 minutes, but it definitely got a bit more competitive. But with that being said, I thought, for me personally, I liked the way that Columbus played. I liked the way that Columbus played. I think Atlanta, they could have played better, but in the end, just wasn't enough. So with that being said, congratulations to the Columbus Crew. Commiserations to Atlanta United FC. We got Columbus Crew going to Orlando to face Orlando in the conference semifinals in 13 days. The 25th, 13 days. Less than 2 weeks. Should be an interesting one, and we'll be live for it. Who knows if we do a review? I don't know which one we'll do a review for that day. Because, well, we don't know how they sit the 4 games. I'm guessing a Western Conference game, you know, I'm guessing. Or a later Eastern game probably gets reviewed. But With that being said, there you go. Congratulations to Columbus. Enjoy Orlando. So we have all of our conference semifinalists. We have our final 8 in MLS this year, and we have only 7 games left of the season. 3 Eastern games, 3 Western games, and 1 interleague big one, the MLS Cup. The Eastern semis, the Western semis, the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals, and MLS Cup. 7 games to go in MLS. We have 8 Nations League games. We'll cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them out of 8. 5 out of 8. Should be good. And then, of course, the 7 Club World Cup games, and then the Central American Cup and Caribbean Cup finals, and Caribbean Cup 3rd place. So, add all those together, they're at least 1 more, 1 less, or equal to MLS, what the number MLS has left. And a couple of draws, and a couple of prediction videos, and all that throughout the game for the rest, and a couple of state games. Hopefully those are enjoyable. With that being said, speaking of prediction videos, I'll see you tomorrow for my recap of the MLS Cup playoffs first round, the best of 3 series, and my predictions for the conference semifinals. And then there you go. So I'll see you tomorrow for that. We will recap the first round. We will predict the conference semis. And there you go. So there you go. I'm Ryan. If you like this video, like and share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put it plays. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I shall see you tomorrow. Have a good Monday. Have a good new week. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace.